Hey guys, Rick Hogg with Warhawk Tactical, and I want to talk to you about the Firearms Training Notebook. So myself and Mark Kelley of Kelley Defense, who's also the co-host of On the Range podcasts, when we were out conducting our firearms training, whether it was with law enforcement or civilians, we found that nobody was having any data or had a notebook to understand how can I make myself that 1% better every single day. So we kind of sat down and said, hey, let's make something for the masses. And this is coming up with the Firearms Training Notebook. So when you get your copy of the Firearms Training Notebook, first thing, when you kind of start opening it up, you're gonna cover 4 rules of firearm safety. Don't forget, we've dedicated it to all our military, first responders, both human and canines that have lost their lives. And then as we start going through, we've got 4 rules of firearm safety because that's paramount, whether you're doing live or dry fire training. Quick little introduction about the book. And as you start going through, what you're going to notice right off the get-go, you're going to find QR codes in there. So whether that's letting you know a little bit more about warhawk.com or kelleydefense.com. We even talk about Duco in there as well. If you don't know who Duco is, so Duco is my combat assault dog I lost. You kind of learned his story. But this is where we kind of start the meat of the book, right here, shooting goals. Because I fully believe if you're not writing your goals down, then they're just kind of wishes and you can change them as you want. If I physically put, hey, what are my goals in there? Then I've got something. Here's the deal. I don't care if you meet those goals, right? We just line them out, put a new set of goals and keep moving. You're always looking to make yourself 1% better and just let the notebook be a tool to do that. And again, we kind of tell you guys, talk about our Patreon. So if you want to get with other like-minded shooters who are looking to get 1% better, again, QR code for that. Now we start getting into, here's just some different ideas for your live and your dry fire training. And if you're looking for some different drills to do in there, we've got a QR code in there to scan and get that. But really, when you start, to me, the whole premise of the book, or I've got my goals kind of written down. I've got a rough idea what I'm looking to do, but I need that tangible. Where's my starting point? So the Warhawk self-eval, for me, it just gives guys a starting point, whether you're running either your pistol or carbine. So it gives a quick layout what the Warhawk self-eval is. Here's kind of an example how to score it or get the data in the book. And then what you want to do is, should you forget, there's a QR code right there. You can scan that, see the drill, and then go ahead and shoot it. But what you can see is, this is just from earlier stuff we were doing. We've got our tangible data in there. Now I can sit there and go, what's my plan for what I'm looking to do? How can I pull these numbers, incorporate that into my dry fire training so I at least have a point, where am I starting at? That's the biggest thing. I would ask law enforcement officers out on the range, hey, 7 meters, draw the first shot, IPSC style target, A zone hit, what's your time? And like, I don't know. It doesn't matter what your time is, right? Understand this, on the Warhawk self-eval, it doesn't matter what your score is. It's your score. It's how do you make yourself that 1% better? So now I can kind of pull some of this data from there when I start moving on to the next section, which is really either, we kind of dubbed, if you want to say, your drill of the day, or that was just kind of the title we put on there, but you can put whatever. And I go up here, and here's the part. I've got a section right up here where there's either a live or dry fire session. I got whatever drill I'm putting on there. Again, with the date, weather, where am I at? Because again, I want to know the weather, because this gives me another chance as well, especially if I'm out in that live fire type situation. Am I testing my equipment out in the environmentals? Am I actually, I got it. Nobody likes to go shoot out in the rain, but am I getting out there and going, hey, does that red dot sight I have in my pistol be affected by the water? I don't know. You have to go out there and test your equipment. But again, it just gives you that tangible to do that. Hey, if we've got a certain round count for the drill we're shooting, how far the target is away. Again, whatever my time standard is. Sometimes I'm just working mechanics, I get it. But sometimes I sit there and go, hey, I need to look to see if I'm hitting this time standard for whatever drill I'm shooting. And then if it's a scored type exercise, I put it from there. The beauty is where we have all these boxes, it gives you the versatility to annotate that data in there. And again, it's big enough where I can sit there and go, hey, was it a hit? Was it a miss? If I'm doing some type of drill like that. If I'm running a plate rack type deal, I can kind of write my times all the way across so I have that information. And then here's the other part is at the bottom, I've got that note section. So when I sit there and whether I'm doing my live or dry fire training, I can sit there and go, all right, I messed this up, did whatever. So now when I go to review, because I have a notebook of data, I know the next time I'm gonna run that drill, let me take a look and go, all right, I made an error here, here, and here, so I'm not repeating them. I would highly recommend a couple things when you're looking at, before I kind of dig more into the book here a little bit. When you're looking at the Firearms Training Notebook, I wanna have, obviously my Pack Pro Timer, because that's important because this is gonna give me the time tangibles to know where I'm at. And then what I like to do is take my phone, and typically on a tripod, is just set that up so now I'm recording the session. The way I incorporate my phone is depending what I'm doing. So let's say, for example, I'm drawing from the holster. Well, obviously at that point, I'm gonna position my phone more on where I'm a right-handed shooter on that right side, so it's seeing the movement of me drawing from the holster. Let's say, for example, I was doing something as far as magazine changes. Well, then I would position the phone on the left side, so now I can see that movement of those magazine changes going on. So again, between the Firearms Training Notebook, Pack Pro Timer, and some way to record your data, whether it's your phone, GoPro, whatever, now I've got a complete package to truly look at making myself that incremental 1% better every day. So as we progress through the book, you'll see I've got all these pages, and I go about 30 deep till I hit my next Warhawk self-eval, because what I want to do, in essence, is just kind of a check on learning. To see, hey, where am I sitting at? So we get right back to that about 30 days later, or 30 sessions later, if you want to look at that. Now I've got another self-eval, and I can see, hey, where am I at as far as my skills? Am I getting better? I should be. But if something happened, that's all right. Just annotate. Hey, maybe when you're sitting there shooting the self-eval, you bumbled the magazine change. It happens, right? That's all right. You just make a note, and we just make sure we work that much harder to get better at that skill. And what we've kind of done, so you've got your initial start, you've got about those 30 days of training blocks in there, another self-eval, and then really you kind of wind up at the back of the book with your final Warhawk self-eval. And then what we're doing is we're giving you a section in there. Hey, if you're looking to set up some dynamic drills, and again, you can set up whatever you want. We've given you a QR code just to get, scan that and see some different drills that I have done in the past. But the beauty is you've got your template on kind of how to set things up. And again, it's your book. You can use your imagination to set it up however you want. But now we flip back to kind of our drills page. Now we've got the grid system on there. We can set up however we want. We can put our course of fire instructions. So again, it just gives you another tool. So if you're working with some other people, hey, we're gonna go shoot this course of fire. You've already laid it out. You've got the course description, and you can get yourself being able to articulate that to other people. And again, it gives you a point to go, hey, if I'm shooting this drill, for example, the Warhawk V, which some of you guys have seen before, I know what my times are and how am I getting better when I'm doing that. So kind of the last couple tidbits when it comes to using the notebook. So for me, there's a couple things I like to have. When I'm out in the range, I like to have my clipboard, because what I like to do, depending on what I'm doing, is if I have this clipboard, now I've got my pages kind of pinned down. So I can just kind of set this on the table. I've got my pen already there. And if I'm working off that Pro Timer, I can hit the button, fire whatever drill I'm doing, and annotate that information down so that now I'm not kind of working back and forth all the time or pages are flipping. But that table makes it nice, because if you think about it, I'm here, I've got the Pro Timer in my pocket. When I press the button, I fire my drill. I can just look straight down, write my data in the book, and then I'm good to go. So it just makes things a little more convenient there. If you don't have a clipboard, or you don't want to put one in your range bag, we haul one around just because with all our training stuff we're doing. To me, just a large rubber band works easy, because now what I can do is just take this rubber band and I just slide it around that mark page, regardless what side I'm working on. So now I know, hey, if the book does close, it's almost like that easy bookmark just to flip over, and I can annotate my data right in there. But I've found the clipboard works a little easier. It's already right there, open, ready to go. The last thing I do, at least for my copy of the notebook, is I have my 2 different versions of my 3x5 cards and my 4x6 cards. Why? Because I can have these with my notebook, because my notebook is part of my range equipment all the time. It's always in my range bag. Now I know, hey, if I want to just go do a Warhawk self-eval, because nothing says I have to do it at the points in there. We just kind of put those in there for you, because it might be one where, hey, I shoot the self-eval, I can't get back to the range for a while, but I'm still doing that dry fire training. And there's nothing worse than getting to the range and going, hey man, I forgot something as simple as my index cards to be able to run my drill. So for me, I'm always just taking my cards. They sit right in the back of the book. I place them right in there, close it up, and then, oh, by the way, should I forget my clipboard? I've got redundancy built in. Now I'm just taking my rubber band. It's going around, holds everything right in there, so that now I can just go to the range. If I need to shoot the drill, I know the targets are already in there. I've got my information. If you want to sit there and take your pen, clip it to the back, clip it on the inside, however you opt to do it, it really, the versatility or the flexibility is on you. So boom, there's the pen in there. I've got a solid package. Here's the thing, guys. The Firearms Training Notebook is available on Amazon. You can also go over to warhawk.com and kelleydefense.com. Get yourself an author's autographed copy over there. This is a great tool if you're a law enforcement officer. This can sit there and help you add to your survivability. God forbid you're ever in a deadly force encounter. The other part this can do, from especially the male law enforcement side, is if you want to sit there and see if your guys are actually doing any type of dry fire training. What I can do is give them a copy of the Firearms Training Notebook, obviously teach them what it's doing, let them have it, I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks. If you're a roll call type agency, say, hey guys, next roll call, bring your books in. Now, not only do I have a tool that I can use to enhance my firearms training, now I have a tool from the leadership side that I can sit there and go, all right, let's go cruise through the book. So I've got Snuffy, and you know what? Snuffy hasn't cracked nothing. But then I've got old Jonesy over here, and Jonesy's back here going, hey Sarge, I need book number 2. All right, how do we sit there and reward that guy? Because again, if you're an armed professional, you want to make sure that you're making yourself 1% better every single day. I challenge my law enforcement officers out there. I got it. You guys are busy. A lot of stuff going on. If you can give, I say me, but it's really give yourself, you and your family, simply 5 minutes, 3 days a week to conduct some good quality dry fire training. If you're doing that, you're going to greatly add to your survivability. And here's the beauty with the Firearms Training Notebook is you can have your plan prior to. If you just show up to the range, or if you just show up to that dry fire session and go, what am I going to do? You're probably going to do what you're good at. No, I need you to work on where are your struggles at? Where are you deficient? Where do I need to improve? Those are the areas you always should be looking at when you're sitting there working your firearm. So guys, get yourself a copy of the Firearms Training Notebook on Amazon, warhawk.com. Make yourself 1% better every single day. Have a plan when you go to the range. Train hard, stay safe. Look forward to seeing you guys out in the range.